Welcome back to Underway Drifting and Dreaming. I'm Jennifer. My husband, Jim, and I, we're cruising north on our 48-foot Kadey Krogen whaleback. We have another 48-foot, Selene, joining us, setting out for an unforgettable journey along the Gulf Intracoastal Waterway, aka the Ditch. Departing Apalachicola, we will cruise some of the most beautiful and secluded waterways along the Gulf Coast, dropping our anchors in peaceful bays and bayous, enjoying spectacular sunrises, sunsets, and embracing the laid-back cruising lifestyle. Along the way, we'll share the sights, challenges, and camaraderie that makes traveling such a unique adventure. Our destination is Gulf Shores, Alabama, at the Homeport Marina and the famous LuLu's restaurant. Come aboard, cast off the lines, and cruise along with us. Well, we are back on the rivers again. The Gulf Intracoastal Waterway. It's beautiful. Been seeing a lot of great birds. The marsh. We stayed in Apalachicola. We're going to have a run over to Panama City today. We'll anchor. Keeping our eyes out for alligators, manatee, and all types of seabirds or coastal birds. I'm not seeing a lot of big boats this morning. Very peaceful, serene. And we do have Jolly Rogers back up on the boat. I did put a loop over him. The deck had a lot of dew on it this morning, so if any wind, he would have blown. But let's look at the flags. We have our Florida flag. Underneath is our gold AGLCA flag, which means we completed our great loop. We're continuing on. And then, of course, the Texas flag. So this morning, when we left, the sailboat in front of us started singing, "The stars and stripes are bold." I'm not from Texas. I couldn't finish it. So the other guy on the pier said, "Deep in the heart of Texas." It was pretty funny. And Jim's like singing along. It just never occurred to me that I was supposed to finish it. The 48-foot Selene is still following us. That's great having a buddy boat. It really made the difference in that crossing, having somebody there out in the middle of the Gulf. Something happened communication-wise. They're pretty non-eventful. There's a cute little, looks like a tug coming up alongside of us. Cute little tug. What a picture-perfect day. It's a little overcast, but that's all right by me. I'm at the helm. Take a look out the door. Isn't that just beautiful out there? Jim's downstairs doing an engine room check. So you can see all the little shrimpies and fish that's underneath the hull. I have my auto heading. Just following my breadcrumbs, these little dots here are breadcrumbs from our last trip, and I'm just staying along in the channel. Welcome to Panama City, Florida. Why am I in the back deck? Well, the wind's a-blowing. So last time we were in Panama City, we anchored right next to Tyndall Air Force Base. It was Pearl Bayou. It was a great anchorage, and I'll show you why I thought it was great. But it is closed due to the war. They want to go ahead and keep it secured so nobody can attack them. So that anchorage is closed. We're going to go up a little bit further underneath this bridge and make a left heading to the north. coming up on the top deck. Let's check it out. I'm going to do a walk around the boat up here. Oh, so beautiful. All right, get ready for the sun. ICW. Coming in this cut here. Look, there's a Coast Guard ship.
Well, that's 20 feet all the way through there. Actually, Coast Guard ships being built in here.
So I have everything ready. I pre-set up my bridle to make it a little bit easier. I have the soft shackle right here. So once that anchor goes down, Jim has the anchor alarm set. He comes up, puts the soft shackle on, and we're pretty much anchored after that. You know, once the anchor is set, we put the bridle on, which will take the pressure off the windlass and transfer it to the bridle, which will take the brunt if there's any type of wave action. But we'll get out of this wind. Let's check out the flags. We're still blowing, but it's not as bad as it was. So there's plenty of water if the Coast Guard ship can be in dry dock over here and has to sail out. It's 20 feet right here. And then there's a paper mill back over here. And then you're in somebody's backyard. It looks like there's a Krogen over here. I can't see the name of it. It starts with the S. I'll have to check that out. And then there's a place for the dog to go to the bathroom right at the mouth of the base. Coming in, there's a little teeny inlet right here. So it's awesome to see a Coast Guard cutter. This one's in dry dock. It's 360 foot being built. I think there's a delay because of financial issues. But here the Selene was anchoring while the tow was heading for them. They weren't sure if they were in the way, but we were in the Anchorage. The gentleman here that owns the Kadey Krogen came out on his John boat, talked to Jim, picked him up, and they went over to the Selene to chat a little bit. And everything worked out fine. The towboat was bringing in fuel and heading to the other side where the paper mill and the Coast Guard cutter is. What a gorgeous Anchorage. The winds are calming down, and we look forward to a great overnight. Do you see what I see? 1, 2, 3, 4. Isn't that so cool? It's like all lined up, ready to land. Good morning. Let's go ahead and do a 360 around the boat of Lake Van Vac, Anchorage. You can see the cut there. It was great protection from the wind, and you're anchored in somebody's backyard. We were very fortunate not knowing that we were anchoring right here next to the Kadey Krogen, and thank you for your hospitality. They came out and chatted with us. So the Anchorage overall, it was quiet. We did have several jets fly in, but that only lasted probably 15-20 minutes of jets continuing in. The paper mill does have an alarm. It's like a horn that goes off in the afternoon and again in the morning, probably starting the workday. And it was just beautiful, beautiful. The Coast Guard ship over there, that's in dry dock. Unfortunately, after a hurricane, I think it was Milton, I may be wrong, kind of caused issue with finances, that the Coast Guard ship has been sitting very, very long time. I'll go ahead and put the name of that Coast Guard class, but there's 3 over there sitting in the dry dock. What a beautiful day. Let's go ahead and watch the sunrise. There was a Mercury engine test lab here in Panama City. And during the day, these boats head out and then they just zoom around up and down. One has already gone through the inlet. Here's the other one taking off out of the little bay here. We're talking like 0 to 60. I'm making that up, but off they go. All right, running onto the deck again like a kid. Can you hear the dolphins? I see them just under the water on this side. There they are. These are much bigger than the ones we saw out when we were doing our Gulf crossing. Alright, we're leaving Panama City behind and we're heading to the Destin harbor. You can see the Gulf beaches over here, the Outer Banks, the barrier islands. Ah, beautiful. Might not be sunny, but it's still gorgeous out here. Snake, a bear. I have no idea what that's about. Duck, a unicorn, or rhino, kangaroo. Very strange. I'm out here just watching for gators and manatees. I don't think we'll see any dolphin in here until we get to the bay again. As we're heading to the Destin harbor, Jim sees this little bayou on the south side of the channel. The guys talked together on the radio and we went ahead and we poked our head in first. I guess the channel was about 11.5. That's the shallowest we saw. But we got in there and we anchored in 14 feet of water. It was great holding. There was a place to take the dog to the boat ramp. And I guess there's a convenience store down the road as well. And then the Selene came in behind us and it was great. So here's the cut, and it is a cut, so there's like 20 foot of water in the cut. And like I said, the shallowest we saw was 11.5 and we anchored in 14 feet of water. Why did we change? Because this was much easier to get in. Destin Harbor is great. It's great holding. There's a boardwalk there. But we wanted to be on our way to the west. And while we were here, this is where my girlfriend reached out. Her and her husband have been RVing for the last 2-3 years, and we keep missing them. They were in Pensacola and heading to Orange Beach with their RV and asked if we could meet up. I reached out to the buddy boat and requested that we leave early in the morning so we could make it over to Homeport Marina. Good morning. We had a great overnight. The winds calmed down. I slept all night. There was enough of a breeze. It was a great anchorage. We're going to head back out of this little area of the Joe's Bayou and get going. We're going to have a long day heading over to Homeport Marina and looking forward to dinner at LuLu's with my friends from Texas. We have another overcast day as we're pulling the anchor here, and we're going to bring that in, and I have to wash it off as it comes up. You can see the mud coming off, and this is something that we do every time we anchor, and that mud goes over the side. Our anchor locker is dry as can be. So you can see I have headsets on. Jim and I stay connected. We're going to see that cut heading back out to the Intracoastal Waterway, and it was really easy. Just stay in the channel and head on out. Beautiful, beautiful area. Went through Fort Walton Beach. I think this is Mary Esther. But look at the sand over there. Dunes and dunes of white sand. We're going by the military Herbert Field. Just watched a C-130 cross our bow. Stunning homes. I've not seen any eagles yet this trip. I'd say on the Panhandle of Florida. Look, there's cars. I have not driven cars since September of 2025. I look forward to driving in May. We're seeing osprey catching fish. Jim just saw Ray jump out of the water. Beautiful day. If you listen, I can hear a jet. I think we're getting closer to Pensacola. I was driving at the helm and we went underneath the Navarre Bridge. That's way back there. Getting a little bit closer to Gulf Shores, to Alabama. Cruising along, and here is Pensacola. This is the inlet heading out to the Gulf, and just past the inlet heading west is the best Anchorage ever. The Blue Angels have a practice schedule, and it was the day that we were here, but we were a few hours too late. My friend and her husband were able to watch. They went out on a dolphin boat and enjoyed watching the jets fly by. So you'll see those dates in a minute. And if you're going through Pensacola or coming down the loop, hopefully you will be there on one of those days. Gorgeous, gorgeous water. And here we are almost to the Anchorage. There's like a little lagoon or cove just on the backside of this dune. I think it's dredge spoils actually. But Jim and I, we anchored in there on the way east heading to Florida, and it was a beautiful spot. And here we are crossing over to Alabama. We arrived at Homeport Marina and LuLu's restaurant. It was a 10-hour day. It was a long day, but so blessed that we were able to have dinner with my girlfriend, her husband, a couple from Kadey Krogen, the Selene. We were all able to enjoy a meal at LuLu's. Homeport Marina is under new ownership, and so if you're coming through here in the fall, this is a great place to stop. Thanks for watching. Keep on watching, and we'll be making more.